Welcome to Mobile Legends, and welcome to another tanking video. Comparisons are striking. Here is the build I like to use for Hylos. On top is the physical build, and on bottom with Athena's shield and tough boots is for magical based damage enemies. So take your skill 2 first, Ring of Punishment, and help your marksman tick the buff. In a low yellow, you can actually invade the enemy's blue buff because Hylos is a really strong early and mid-game tank. And as per the roam item nerf, wait until the rest of the team has some gold before you get your mask. And buy it before this MM kills the buff, so they get all the XP. Right after getting the wooden mask, grab your boots, and then prioritize the Clock of Destiny item. It's the most important item to get as early as you can, because it adds mana and HP every 30 seconds. And it also restores mana and HP every time you level up. Hylos' passive dictates that he gets 1.5 HP for every 1 point of mana he has, and so Clock of Destiny is the ultimate synergizing item for his passive. Try to leave every kill you get to the marksman because they need the XP, and when you have a roam item, you get a certain % more gold for assists anyway. Notice how I push really far back into the enemies and I get right up close to them. I wasn't sure where the Ling went, and I didn't realize that he went further up towards his end of the jungle, and so I went and checked all the bushes. And so, positioning for a tank, you want to stay right between the enemy ADC and your ADC. It doesn't help for enemies who have penetrating abilities like Ling and Hanzo and Claude's first ability, but it does protect from single target skills like Flame Shot, as you can see Ling just used it on me, Shenga's ultimate, and Granger's first ability. Remember to keep your eyes on the map, and you will notice that Eudora is coming in for a gank. As you build your items, you can eventually start roaming a little more for visibility for your team. I'm repositioning to provide vision, as I just mentioned, for Leslie and Eudora, and I encounter Odette. And here I hinder her arrival a little bit to buy my team some time, and also to make them aware that she is coming to defend bottom lane. Hylos is the king of turret diving, by the way. If you find yourself turret diving for kills a lot, invest in making Kufra, Grok, and Hylos your main tanks, because they excel at that. And so as myself and Leslie back up to do some farming, let's talk about items. Building tank is a matter of knowing who does what kind of damage, and just being familiar with all the items in the defense category. Esmeralda, Kimi, and Marksman with the Windtalker item all deal magical and physical damage. All marksmen, assassins, and fighters, with the exception of Guinevere and Sylvana, do physical damage. Their basic attack is determined by a percentage of their attack damage, but in the end they deal magical damage. Carrie, Wanwan, and any person with the Endless Battle or Calamity Reaper items deal true damage. And the other way to counter that is to have high HP, which, guess what? Hylos excels at. Excuse me. I don't have the Rona, I promise. But I do have hay fever, because I'm a horse. Haha. So, once you get Clock of Destiny, get your boots and work towards Cursed Helmet, Dominance Ice, or Athena's Shield. Normally I get Twilight Armor if the enemy has like a Bruno or something, but that can wait until late game when the enemy ADC is a lot more fed. Or, of course, until you crush the enemy beyond recognition and they don't have time to build enough damage. And so, Esmeralda deals not true damage, but she ignores shields, and so the Athena's shield item and immortality are only half useful against her. And you can see, as I leveled up, the Elegant Gem item gave me more mana and HP. That's why it's important to make it the first item you get, because the earlier you get it, the more HP and mana you can have. You want to, playing tank is deceptively simple and endlessly complicated, like chess. you always want to focus on if you want to use your abilities to initiate or to defend. Hylos' ultimate gives him and his allies speed boost. And so you can use it to run up and really force yourself onto the enemy backline, or you can use it to run away and escape. And these two skinny boys, Ling and Claude, because they are underfed, practically do nothing to me. But before long, they will have items and they will start doing real damage to you. I had the same Hanzo on my team last match. He was playing Lapu Lapu, and he just fucking railed everyone. He went bonkers, fucking yonkers. If he had like probably a good funneling system, like kind of what we have here for Leslie, giving Leslie all the farm, he would just smash the competition. So here I am, checking bushes, checking visibility, making sure no one is hiding. Hanzo had taken the blue buff earlier, but with it I trust my team enough to be able to push ahead and make sure we secure the turret. I can tank all that damage from Odette and Hanzo. But because they don't have a tank, they don't have anyone, except for Hanzo, who can really push into the backlines in the way that a tank can.
Charge forward and fear nothing.
And so, let's talk about building again. You can see the enemy team is all damage, physical damage, except for Odette. This would be counter damage, which in higher yellow, say you have a team that is a Claude, a Grok, Valir, Jawhead, and let's say Carmilla. Claude is their main ADC, so that's the kind of damage you would build against. You would build Dominance Ice, you would build blade armor, perhaps. You would build something for physical defense. But you still have Valir, or Sicilian, or Farsa, who have magical damage. Someone once told me that playing Daroth makes you feel like a professional, but in reality you're just button smashing, and I've always thought about that. He has excellent sustainability, though. So here, while I was pushed into the backline, Leslie and Eudora both had no defense at all, and an assassin would have the perfect opportunity to push in and totally shut them down. This is why I stress the importance of two-tank meta. You can have a tank that you need a roaming tank, like that's your Minotaur, Kufra, Akai, Hylos even, and then you need a defensive tank that can support and defend the enemies, or your allies from the backline. And so, again, I pushed into the backline, which did cost me my life. You can't really tank more than 3 turret shots, because it does stack exponentially, and so by the 3rd or 4th tank shot, you are tanking 5k true damage, and that's not good. And so here I am. I'm putting pressure on them again with my ultimate here, so that my team can take the tier 2 mid turret. I prioritize stunning Odette, because between Daroth and Leslie, she's a one-hit kill with no opportunity to do any kind of damage. As we approach mid-game, she's kind of, Odette has kind of outlived her usefulness. And it's now time for Hanzo and Freya and Ling to be taking over. Although, because my team has done such a great job of putting pressure on the lanes and defending and getting kills and getting fat and fed, they have no possibility of bringing this back.
Charge forward and fear nothing.
And so, all tanks, have the same function, the same technicalities, although like assassins, they all play wildly different. So you really need to just try everyone and consider who you like. It's my greatest shame that I couldn't have rescued Granger here, but my hands were really slow. And as a result of compulsory skill usage here, the Hanzo was basically already dead, like Omeomo Shinderu, but if I'd used my stun on Ling, I would have killed him under the turret, which would have been a sexy play. Just chef's kiss. I know, phone. I feel bad about not doing anything to help this Eudora, but she was pretty far into that line with no defense, no help.
Charge forward and fear nothing.
And so, at this point, the team, Leslie particularly, now have enough items to be a genuine threat. And so she's pretty easy, and she's also a very professional player, Mr. Pat He, I suppose. And so at this point, it's my job to roam about, make sure that our objectives are being secured like this, and just making initiates. I don't really need to defend her anymore, as she's strong enough. This is why as a tank, you need to guard the whole area around Lord, and make sure nobody's hiding or approaching to steal Lord, because at Hanzo, totally would have managed to take it if my team wasn't prepared. So again, forcing myself into the backline, getting an excellent assists with Granger. I had my Ring of Punishment active. I probably would have killed myself if I stole this Maniac accidentally. It's a shame he couldn't get a Savage, although he goes straight for mid lane turret. So as a tank now, ooh, Hylos and Hylos' dad having a bonding moment together. How cute. And so I die a couple times. The match was not yet over. A strategic part of Mobile Legends is recognizing and remembering when enemies use their ults, battle spells, and when their buffs respawn. Here I notify my team that Odette and Ling have no ult for the next 30 seconds or so. But as I was saying, these next few gameplays will just be me staying in the front, tanking all the damage. Even though it costs me my life, my ADCs are better than theirs, and they have no tank to counteract that. They have no one to take that damage. But I am here, and so are you, playing tank and learning how to do it well. Gosh, I never realized the score at 13, almost 14 minutes was 30-10. I missed my red ult here on the camera, but I used it to isolate Ling from his team and prevent them from backing up. But I was dumb and got CC'd under the turret. Again. So that was me low-key feeding, just running in and dying. But I managed to help my team get the push in, which pretty much secured our team unless they all died at the same time, although there's no possibility of that. I have some great synergy with my team here because yes, both our marksmen know not to overextend and not to push too far, because they are very soft, very squishy, and very baby. But they're also, they know what items to build, and Joyce is doing a great job of jungling early game, getting her items, getting all that stuff, and putting constant pressure on top lane. So same as last time, I assert my fat tank ass on the enemy and force them to back up. And this time I'm more careful not to get CC'd under the turret. So you can see here, I waste my stun on Ling instead of Odette, and that nearly costs us our lives. You need to keep in mind of protecting your teammates while also initiating for them, and that's why playing tank can be so difficult. Hylos' ult is a great example of it. You can use it to initiate and also to escape. And thanks for watching. So my next videos will be how to play Initiator with Faramis, how to tank with Baksha, and how to play supportive Valir. I'm really excited to be making these videos, but recent events have been taking up some of my time. So remember, COVID protection protocol. Have a safe and temperate June, and support your Black and queer local communities. Thank you. Have a great one.